In the day's other headlines, the Trump administration is appealing a judge's decision to let Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook stay on the job as she challenges her dismissal. Judge Gia Cobb found that President Trump's attempt to fire Cook over mortgage fraud allegations did not meet the threshold for sufficient cause. Cook denies any wrongdoing. Meantime, a Senate committee advanced the nomination of White House economic advisor Stephen Miron to join the Fed's board. If approved by the full Senate, he'd be the third Trump appointee to join the seven-member board as the president continues to pressure the Fed to cut interest rates. 3 former FBI officials are suing the Bureau over their termination, saying they were part of a campaign of retribution. Brian Driscoll, Steve Jensen, and Spencer Evans allege the FBI director, Kash Patel, indicated directly to one of them that he knew firing them was, quote, likely illegal, but he did so anyway to fulfill President Trump's desire to remove all agents who helped investigate him. The lawsuit also names Attorney General Pam Bondi, the Justice Department, and the Office of the President itself. Both the FBI and the DOJ have so far declined to comment. In Colorado, a shooting at a high school outside Denver has left 3 teenagers in critical condition, including the suspected shooter. Authorities say more than 100 police officers rushed to Evergreen High School as students were evacuated from the school grounds. The alleged shooter is believed to be a student at the school. No deaths have been reported so far. A South Korean plane touched down in Georgia today to bring home more than 300 workers who were arrested in a massive immigration raid last week. It's unclear when the plane will leave and whether the workers will qualify for voluntary departures or be deported. Earlier today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosted South Korea's foreign minister, saying that President Trump has ordered that the matter be resolved swiftly. Last week, ICE agents rounded up the workers at a Hyundai plant in Savannah. It was the largest workplace raid of the Trump administration so far. Meantime, an immigration enforcement effort in upstate New York boiled over into a dramatic confrontation with protesters. Video from the scene shows demonstrators surrounding immigration officers and their vehicles on Tuesday after agents took a roofer into custody at a job site. The remaining workers refused to come down as the crowd rallied to their support. The episode ended with agents retreating from the site and a Customs and Border Protection vehicle being taken away with 4 flat tires, which had reportedly been slashed. In France, protesters clashed with police today in the latest challenge to President Emmanuel Macron's government. In one instance, police used tear gas on crowds near a Paris high school. Across that nation, authorities arrested more than 400 people at hundreds of protests related to the so-called Block Everything movement. It started online this summer and called for a day of action against government budget cuts, among other grievances. Protesters outside of an Amazon warehouse said they were rallying in support of workers there and called on President Macron to resign.
A dynamic has been created and self-organized. It's truly a citizens' movement that has organized itself. Personally, at least, I'll be there until the end to be able to fight and to really get the message across that we can't take it anymore and that Macron has to go. He's the cause of all this.
The latest unrest comes just a day after President Macron selected a new prime minister, his 4th in just a year. In Nepal, troops are patrolling the streets of the capital, Kathmandu, as the military there tries to restore order after 2 days of violent protests. At least 25 people were killed as public anger over a short-lived social media ban boiled over, forcing the country's prime minister to resign. Talks began today to select an interim government, though no decision has been made. Meantime, a cleanup effort has started following chaotic scenes that saw damage to the country's main parliament building, presidential house, and government offices. Cuba suffered a total blackout today amid ongoing problems with its aging infrastructure and fuel shortages. Energy Ministry officials attributed the most recent outage to a malfunctioning thermoelectric plant, but an investigation is still ongoing. This is Cuba's second major outage this year after a similar blackout back in March. Officials say work is underway to restore power to Cuba's roughly 10 million people. On Wall Street today, stocks ended mixed ahead of tomorrow's highly anticipated inflation data. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell more than 200 points on the day. The Nasdaq added just 6 points, so about flat. The S&P 500 closed once again at a new all-time high. And we have some news from Mars. Scientists say that NASA's Perseverance rover has discovered rocks that are being called the clearest sign of ancient life on that planet. The stones are composed of finely packed sediment. Close analysis reveals that they contain green, black, and white dots resembling minerals that on Earth are associated with microbial activity. Researchers say the rocks will need more analysis, ideally in labs back here on Earth, before they can reach any firm conclusions. Still to come on the NewsHour, the global fallout from Israel's strike on Hamas leadership in Qatar. How the National Guard is being used to combat crime in New Mexico at the behest of its Democratic governor. And a new book examines how artificial intelligence may be exacerbating sexism.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein Studio at WETA in Washington, and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.